Good morning, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com with your morning market outlook for Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. In the pre market this morning, stock index futures are down below fair value. When I see numbers like this, I don't get overly pessimistic. They could turn around fairly easily throughout the day, but this is the second day of the market moving lower. Looking at the commodities, we've got crude oil continuing to move higher. Gold is reversing this morning. Gold had a nice big up day yesterday, generating some new buy signals. We're seeing a little pullback in the pre market this morning. And once again, it is silver outpacing gold to the downside. We do have jobless claims coming out in a few minutes. They could certainly help change the direction of the market. Now, we had some earnings after hours last night. Google's down. Google's already on a sell signal. Google's part of the Dow, and that's one of the reasons the Dow is down this morning. Now, IBM pre-announced last week or the week before, and you can see how we gapped lower. And here we are. We're trading slightly lower again this morning, but no major sell-off. That already happened. Looking at Tesla, Tesla is down at the 350 level from 370. And so that stock's continuing to move lower. No change in trend for Tesla. Now, SpaceX started heading lower again yesterday. We had that one day that was a break where it actually closed higher on the day, but as I mentioned, did not close above the previous day's high. And so here we are. We were down over 6% yesterday, heading towards $100. Now, data centers still the topic of 2026. Some people want them, most people don't. It's hard to find a place to put them. If you can find a place to put them, do they have the infrastructure to support them? It's a very hot topic right now. Lots of local opposition to them, and it's hard to find a location. It's hard to find a place where people actually want them. Now, Oracle's been searching for a place to put a new data center, and it found it, and the people want it, except the people who want it actually took the time to do due diligence on Oracle and found out the company's on very shaky financial ground. And now they want Oracle to put up a $7 billion guarantee before they start building the data center. So that is a new wrinkle. There are a lot of big cap tech stocks out there that are very cash heavy. So not all of them will fall into this category of being on shaky ground. But there are a lot of companies in the data center supply chain that are living off borrowed money. And if we start heading into a rate hiking cycle, which could start in September, that's going to put more financial pressure on those particular stocks. And then there are stocks like Oracle, which stand out that may not survive a rate hiking cycle. Now, looking at the bond market, Trump went after this guy who had a sterling reputation, and Trump tried to discredit him as much as possible, and including trying to charge him with crimes to get him out because he would not lower rates. And so here we are. We've got bond prices continuing to move lower, putting upward pressure on bond yields at the moment, putting upward pressure on the new guy that Trump put in. And it looks like they're going to be raising rates in September. Whether that starts a rate hiking cycle or not is yet to be determined. We're not at September yet, so we don't know for sure, but the market is certainly indicating it's expecting rates to go up in September. Now, what worked yesterday? Well, the big winner were the gold stocks after gold moved up the previous day. Now we've got gold down in the pre market this morning, so it certainly may not be enough to unwind these buy signals from Wednesday. But gold stocks in New York and Toronto, the juniors, they all went up. We saw silver move higher yesterday. Silver miners, junior silver miners, all back on buy signals as of Wednesday's close. Now, the energy sector continues to move higher on the back of higher crude oil prices, which were up over 2% yesterday. Our next target for the USO is 137.50 and then 150. You can see we were up at 150 back in May. Now, we ran down to the 200-day moving average recently, bounced off that, and here we go back up. Looking at the weekly chart, you can see that we're only two lines up to the 150 level. Above that is 175 if you look two lines up, and I certainly think that we're probably going to get there by year end as the tensions in the Middle East continue to accelerate and the war between Ukraine and Russia continues to accelerate. with Ukraine being very strategic, going after all the energy facilities in Russia. And so that's not going to help us with the price of crude oil. And of course, crude oil goes into gasoline, and gasoline has moved up to the previous high back in May, as we suspected. If we start making higher highs here, then 137.50 is the next target to the upside for the UGA. Natural gas was up yesterday into the channel. A close above 1075 would give us a buy signal on Thursday. If you want to play natural gas and run it up to $12, that would be the next trade once we get a buy signal. We continue to hold 1016. If that breaks, 938 would be our next target to the downside. Looking at energy stocks on the TSX, we were up 1.27% yesterday, heading towards 2813. We tried to break away from that back in May, and then our next target above that would be 2969. And you can see above that, 3125 would be the next target on the weekly chart. We're not there yet. Looking at U.S. energy stocks, they were up 1.2% yesterday, and we hit our next price target, 59.38. Above that, you can go back to the May high, and then above that, you can go back to the high from late March, early April, up at the 62.50 level. Again, we ran down, bounced off of the 200-day moving average, and you can see on the weekly chart, 62.50 would be our next weekly target. Above that, 68.75 and $75, which is, I think, where we're headed if we can break through the 62.50 level. Looking at the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're still on buy signals here. Yesterday was an inside day for Bitcoin. Fairly quiet trading for Ethereum, both still on buy signals. Now, the VIX had a wild day yesterday. It did trade down towards the lower channel line, certainly did not close below it. It was down just 41 cents on the day. We are trading higher in the pre-market this morning. The NASDAQ had an inside day yesterday, and it was down at the lower channel line. It closed higher on the day, so the NASDAQ VIX is still elevated compared to the S&P 500 and compared to the Russell 2000. And that VIX had an inside day yesterday, still on a sell signal here, no change in trend for that area of the market. Looking at the major index ETFs, and we had a new all-time high for the iShares for the TSX 60 yesterday. We're trying to break through 53.13. That's the top of our daily projected range. If we go to the weekly chart from last Friday, 56.25 is our next target to the upside. The Vanguard Canada ETF is still stuck here. We're trying to break away from 71.88 and trying to break out above the high from June. If we can do that today, then 73.44 would be our next target to the upside. In the U.S., we're still on sell signals here for the Vanguard Total Market ETF, the Dow, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Russell. They're all pretty close to the, if we get a big reversal today and move higher, we could certainly get buy signals today, but so far we're just treading water and heading lower in the pre-market. Now, the SMH ETF traded up into the upper channel yesterday. South Korean stocks were up overnight, so we may see some continued buying in the semiconductors on Thursday. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like stocks are going to trend lower at the open. No major breakdown so far. We've got jobless claims coming out in a few minutes. Those could certainly help change the direction of the market. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Friday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.